2018 Arnold Sports Festival. We were joined by my good friend and partner, Aaron Singerman, CEO of Redcon 1. Aaron, you just living the dream, or what?
I really am living the dream. We've had such a great relationship with Arnold and you, and really all of Bob, everybody. Literally everybody, from Matt on down. And so it's an easy decision to come exhibit here and spend money here and put time into this. Because in terms of a consumer expo, I mean, we get more people here and more interest here than anywhere else.
And this year, Redcon 1 is sponsoring our live streams. On ArnoldSportsFestival.com, we have 50 plus hours of coverage, wall-to-wall coverage of our IFBB Pro League events, Arnold Amateur, everything on the main expo stage all 3 days is being live streamed, free to watch at ArnoldSportsFestival.com. Everything on the Patel Grand stage, which is all of our pro events, the Amateur, the Sunday Showcase, something we couldn't do without your support. So, so thank you for that.
My pleasure. You know, that one of the things that makes my company different, Redcon specifically different, is that we believe in unique advertising possibilities and opportunities, and we really exploit things that are unique and interesting digitally, not traditional media, all new media. And so basically the idea of sponsoring the webcast, especially 50 hours of live stream, I knew that we could work something out, and I'm excited that we did.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how that turns out this year. Our numbers so far have been tremendous, and I'm looking forward to building on that into the future. Tell me a little bit about your story, because I understand being a fan, making a few connections and catching on as a media member in this industry. It's where a lot of our media members come from.
Yeah.
But taking it to the next step and founding a couple of us very successful supplement companies.
Sure.
How do you do that? I mean, where do you start, and where do you find the drive to make all that happen? I sit back and wonder sometimes.
Yeah, you know, I'm by nature a very obsessive and very driven person with whatever I love doing. So I don't think like I would be a good doctor or really good anything else. But I found a niche initially in bodybuilding where I knew I loved bodybuilding, but also knew I couldn't be a bodybuilder, you know, just because of how I'm built, you know. Sure. So I knew that there's no chance of that. So very early on, I made a decision to focus and put a lot of energy into creating money in bodybuilding, making a living, so that one day I could support a family and everything. And that started by getting a job doing radio, and then it started by RX Muscle, and eventually I ran RX Muscle for Dave. I was the editor-in-chief, and I kept my mind open for opportunities, and by looking for those opportunities, I just seemed to grab them. I also don't think a whole lot, honestly, about stuff. I usually just react, and sometimes that's to my detriment. It's not always a good thing, but I'm not a really deep thinker, and like I don't consider everything. If I think it sounds good, if my gut tells me it's a good option, I usually go ahead and do it, and it doesn't always work. It's not like I've always had only successes. But my dad, who has since unfortunately passed away, he was a great guy. Everybody loved him, and he was very smart. But he didn't achieve a lot of success in life because he would be paralyzed by indecision. So I think that made a big impact on me, and instead I am the exact opposite. So you combine obsessive, very driven, and somebody who can pull a trigger fast on anything. I think that creates a unique combination of things, and you attach that to doing only something that I love. And I love business, I love bodybuilding, I love supplements. So honestly, it really had a lot of good circumstances along the way. There was some luck in there, but there was a hell of a lot of obsession and drive to continue to create success. And the truth is that you are now seeing, or people out there who are familiar with Redcon, are seeing like the hopefully final iteration of a lot of mistakes and a lot of successes. So I basically, when I started Redcon about 18 months ago, I decided to make a list of all the things that I wish I wouldn't have done with Blackstone and other companies. I own several other ones. And I made a list, and I said, these things I'm not going to do. So when I formed the team, I didn't hire anybody that was negative. Just because they're talented, I didn't hire. I mean, that's one tiny example, but I had a long list. And then I said all the things that I did do good, and I focused on scaling the good things and not doing any of the bad things. And so all of that experience led to what you see with Redcon 1. I joke that I would like the kid that went to high school. And like I went to high school, and when I left high school, I'm like, man, I wish I would have talked to this girl. I wish I would have said this. Oh, if that bully did that, I wish I would have done this to him, you know. But now I'm actually getting to do high school all over again, essentially. So this is my chance to do it over and be make all the right moves, get all the girls.
So obviously the company culture is the key to the success.
It's a big deal.
In this industry, especially when you walk into that expo, it's the product's got to be right.
Yeah.
How in 18 months, how do you build a company like Redcon One to differentiate yourself in such a competitive market where it's so difficult to rise above the noise?
So there's a few things. Number one, when we started, before we started, when I left Blackstone, the first thing that we really sat down is, what do we want the brand to mean? So what we did from the very beginning is we decided, how will we stand out? What will be different? Yep. And you notice the brand is very military twisted.
Yep.
So we had two Navy SEALs, Ryan Bates and Brandon Cruz, who I'm friends with, and initially from the very beginning, I always wanted to get them involved in something because they're awesome. I mean, these guys are like, they're beyond, not just what they've accomplished, because both of them are combat veterans with multiple accommodations, they're the best, right? But their personalities are so good. I was like, man, there's got to be a way I can utilize these guys. And so in the initial design phase of the company, I showed them a bunch of labels and designs, and they're like, it doesn't speak to me. And so we kind of kept working until we found, believe it or not, a design that Ryan was like, this is cool. Team guys would buy this. SEALs would buy this. And I was like, okay, but would normal people buy it? And he's like, I think so. It's different than everything else you guys have come up with, and it looks different. And so to be honest, that initial design kind of pushed us in that unique direction, because it is very unique. There's not brands that look like us. So you put it on the shelf. And then we start coming up with the name and the logo. Very important. The name of a company ideally should be short, so it's easily rememberable. It should mean something, hopefully, or at least be able to create a story around something that it means, right? And then ideally, you should be able to get the URL. So that's very difficult now. If it's short, the name, like redcon1.com, it's going to be tough to get it. Yeah. And then in anything even shorter than that, it becomes close to impossible. Sure. So when we were trying to find synonyms, or really it was really more terms, military terms, out there, we came across Redcon 1. And I never heard that term used before. I heard DEFCON 1, but I never heard Redcon 1. And Redcon 1 means the highest state of military preparedness, the highest state of readiness. And so I was like, whoa, that's cool. I was like, that's cool, because who doesn't want to be at the highest state of readiness? My wife with her 3 kids, she wants to be, our 3 kids, wants to be at the highest state of readiness. My mom wants to be at the highest state of readiness. Everybody does. It applies to everybody, whether it be a bodybuilder competing on the Arnold Classic stage or somebody attending, they all want that. So I was like, wow, that's pretty good. And then we looked up the URL, and it was available for $5,000. And so now a lot of people would have been like,
they may have balked and moved on to something else.
Do I really need it? You know, this was one of the first names we came up with, and I was like, let's do it. That's the typical thing. And everybody was kind of go, sure? And I was like, let's do it, buy it. So we bought it. So it's short. We came up with a really cool distressed Redcon 1 logo, and everything kind of got built around that. We placed it and worked great inside of the matte black and coyote khaki labels. And honestly, from the time that I saw the first logo with the name, I knew it was going to be a huge success. Like there's times in my life where I've been fortunate enough to see something and just know for sure, like the new MRE bar, which you got to try. Yep. So we had the new bar that just came out, and I tried it for the first time. I was like, this is going to be huge.
If Asher likes it, I'm in.
And if Asher likes it, and he does. Yeah, that's the real, honestly, that's the true test, because my oldest son is very picky eater. And for me to give it to him and him to even be willing to try it, you got to get something good. And then to try it and like it and ask for him. Because ultimately, my goal for the bars is not just to be within the bodybuilding field by any means. Bars are huge. Yeah. I mean, it's multi-billion dollar piece of our business. So, Quest Bar at one point was doing $600 million just with those Quest bars. Yeah. So I plan to do that.
And that's what you get. I mean, that's how you succeed in this industry. You can't. I don't think you just live off the bodybuilding.
You can't pigeonhole yourself. Yeah. You can't pigeonhole. You can do great. So, like in the past, Blackstone was doing good numbers, really good, but it can only do so much. It would never be a brand that's going to be everywhere. GNC wasn't interested. We got accepted into Vitamin Shop, GNC, the military, all in the first year and a half. And that would never happen because the branding was not, it just doesn't work for them. Yeah. And we have people that come up all the time, military guys and girls, that say, I will be proud to represent your brand because it stands for something. So, we have a brand message. We believe in blue collar work ethics, treating people the way that they're supposed to be treated, the golden rule, and that all of that is shown by the way that we treat our customers and our fans. And we have a tier operator program, which is our affiliate program, with over 3,500 individuals that are part of the team that are out there spreading the good word, and they're doing it because they're choosing to, not because they're being paid to or anything.
So real quick, looking forward to 2018, 2019, what can we expect from Redcon 1, and where can we see you?
Well, the big thing that you can expect was the Emery bar, which is a protein bar made with the protein sources are chicken, beef, eggs, and salmon, which is unique, right?
Yeah.
Don't worry, it doesn't taste like any of those things. And then it is with carbs. It's gluten-free rolled oats, yams, and then it has MCT oils for healthy fat. So it's a whole food bar, not a protein bar. And I couldn't be any more excited about that. And it's been fantastic seeing the consumers try it and be like, "What? This is the best bar I ever tried." Well, so the original thought was to make it a full meal replacement bar, which would have doubled the size of the bar.
Okay.
But then after considering it and talking to some people that know the bar industry much better than me, they said that we should cut it in half, make it 260 calorie bar, so it's a 70 gram bar, and offer it at a more reasonable price, because it's not going to be like, my wife will never eat a 500 calorie bar, right? You're going to eat half. So for most people, for half the population, they're not going to want that. And a lot of guys, to be honest, the one thing I've found is when they see 50 grams of carbs, because our bar is 25, or a little over 25, if they see 50 grams of carbs, they're going to be like, "Ooh, I don't know if I want that." You know, so we went with a slightly smaller bar. So I'd rather say it was a whole food snack bar, or in-between bar. Like if you're on the go and you're hungry, you can eat one. And the cool thing is, because it has no whey protein in it, it has no whey concentrate, it doesn't upset your stomach at all. So you could hypothetically eat 2 or 3 or 4. And we've had a bunch of guys over there eat several more than that, and they're not upset. The stomach's not upset. So it's cool that this bar is something that can be ate. It's not chewy, it's soft. So that's something I'm really excited about. That whole Emery brand, it's like a sub-brand now, because we have normal Emery, we have Emery Light, and now we have the Emery bar. So who knows in terms of what else is coming. We have GI Juice that's releasing, which is the fruits and greens with the digestive enzyme. We have a joint formula coming out, and a whole bunch more stuff.
Well, Aaron, I appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you.
I've been a long-time admirer of
Thank
your
you.
journey.
Thank you, Brent.
From coming here as a fan to
You've
coming
seen me
here
the whole way.
as a media member, and now you're one of our sponsors. And
yeah.
We're doing some great stuff on the live stream.
Yeah.
Work with Rudy on your team.
Yeah.
Really, really closely. He's a longtime friend of mine too.
Yeah.
So
he's a big help for both of us.
Yes. He and Rudy, who's on your staff, for many years has helped run our social media on the weekend.
Yeah. He loves doing it too.
And I think I met him my first year at the event, probably 9-10 years ago.
See,
and he's come back
inadvertently,
every year, and it's just
he's great,
it's
right?
a great partnership.
He is a responsible guy too, which is cool. You can count on Rudy. He wants to impress you. He wants to do a good job, and honestly, it's a shame to say, but most employees are not like Rudy. You know.
Yeah,
he's a hard worker.
He's a rare find in this field.
Yes, and I'm actually, in a way, I'm helping you guys there too, because I continue to educate Rudy and work with him on building social media. He's building our social media, so at the same time, you get a little fringe benefit out of that, right?
Much benefit out of that.
Yeah.
So Aaron, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Brent.
I appreciate your support as always.
Of course.
I know we'll work together again in the future. We'll see each other soon.
Thank you, Brent. I appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you again for joining us on this latest issue of the Arnold Sports Festival podcast. Follow us online, www.arnoldsportsfestival.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Arnold Sports Festival, and we'll see you again real soon. Thank you.